This is Mark Smerschel with BeneFLEX, and we're doing the 2017 Renewal webinar. To introduce yourself to me, I am the Vice President for BeneFLEX. I am certified flexible in compensation by the Employers Council on Flexible Compensation. ECFC is a national organization dedicated to the advancement of use and education of consumer-directed pre-tax benefits. BeneFLEX has been a member for all 16 years that I've been with BeneFLEX, and we're very fortunate that I currently get to sit on the board. So I get to rub elbows with a lot of people that are working hard in the benefit area. Joining me today is Jennifer Shaw, our processing manager. Jennifer is also certified in flexible compensation, and her team runs the renewal process. And lastly, we have Jamie Raines, who's celebrating her birthday today, and she's our marketing manager. And so you all love the videos that she's creating and personalizing for everybody to use for the renewal process. Today's presentation, you will be in listen mode only. If you have any questions, please type them in, and we'll answer them as time permits at the end of this session. And if the sound of the presenter is terrible, please don't adjust your speakers. I apologize. I picked up a cold in Chicago last week, and so sometimes I get a little rough and have to take a drink of water. With the Affordable Care Act and impending Cadillac tax coming in 2018, we recognize the need in the benefits world for some fact sharing on how the benefit plans that we administer are being impacted by all the ACA changes. At the same time, it provided us with a perfect opportunity to answer many of the questions you've been asking regarding how the IRS and the Department of Labor audits are looking at your plan documents. And here's the important part: how BeneFLEX is working on your behalf to keep your plan documents compliant. We will wrap this timely information around your renewal process, not just the ABCs of renewal, but important ways to grow participation, benefiting the employees and your company. Lastly, we're very excited about the survey information we have to share regarding carryover and how to communicate with boomers, Gen X, and millennials regarding your plans. The first topic on our agenda today is Department of Labor and IRS audits on employee benefit plans. This is something none of us want to think about, but due to the Affordable Care Act, the DOL and the IRS are making sure employers are complying with new health care reform laws. Being selected for a DOL audit can have serious consequences for an employer. According to a DOL audit report for the 2015 fiscal year, approximately 5 out of 8 investigations resulted in penalties or required other corrective action. The IRS audits focused on potential issues that will generate additional tax revenue through the assessment of penalties and interest. And can you guess the #1 reason that employers have BeneFLEX redoing their plan docs? It's because they can't find them. We have so many people call up and say, we have no idea where that document is. So we work with them to pull it together. And when you have BeneFLEX do your plan document, we always keep an electronic copy for you, so you'll always know where there's another copy on file. It's important to make sure you understand changes that would require an amendment to your plan document. Changes that you need to be aware of that make you want to contact us are the employer name, your federal tax ID number, address changes, a new phone number, affiliated companies being added or terminated from the plan. If you change your plan year to a short plan year, or you extend your plan year. If you make a change to your benefit plan design, that's going to drive a change for your plan document. For example, for the FSA, it would include the addition of the $500 carryover, the grace period, and adding an HSA. Now, all three of those would cause changes in your plan document, but a lot of employers seem to miss the fact that an HSA is going to drive changes in their FSA plan document. There are different options available for the HSA, so if you are considering an HSA, contact us now so that we can give you those options and you can select the best option to move your company forward as you start that HSA process. And then lastly but not least, we have the HRA, and that's affected by changes to the group health insurance or to the reimbursement under the plan of who's going to pay what, employer or employee. Again, all those plan docs need to be updated as those pre-tax programs add a lot of value, and it's important that you have a document that supports those changes. And then most recently, the Affordable Care Act requires employers to allow employees to have a change in status if they want to go to the exchange for their insurance. Why would a change in status be required in your plan documents, you say? The ability of employees to pay their insurance premiums pre-tax is an irrevocable election, and unless you have a change in status, you can't change that election. The ACA says employers need to be sure to have that language added to their plan document, so if an employee wants to make an exchange election, they can get out of the irrevocable election. If any of these changes are occurring that I've mentioned, or if you have questions about them, please reach out to your account manager, and they will talk with compliance to make sure that we get you the answer you need to know so your plan documents are current. I also want to call your attention to the importance of non-discrimination testing. BeneFLEX provides this to our clients at no charge, where other TPAs tend to charge an extra fee. In order to provide tax savings, the cafeteria plan must not discriminate in favor of highly compensated and key employees. So BeneFLEX felt it's important to make sure we just do that as part of the service and not ask you to have to request it. So to make sure that unintended favor happen, and to make sure unintended favors don't happen for the highly compensated and key employees, Congress came up with requirements that a plan must meet. If a plan does not meet these requirements, then some key employees will have adverse tax consequences. For example, highly compensated employees may have to pay taxes on some part of the amount of their salary reduction. It is recommended that the testing be done close to the end of the plan year to include all new hires and allow time for full contributions to be made. By allowing all the new employee elections and contributions to be included, it helps to raise the amount that highly comps would be able to put into the pre-tax program. Now, we will scan the elections as they come in to make sure you don't have a problem up front, because we want to make sure that it's a program that everybody can benefit from. But we don't advise changing elections up front. We always advise waiting till the end of the year, again, so the full amount that a highly comp could run through can be a part of the process. The 4 non-discrimination tests are eligibility test. This test is based on highly compensated versus non-highly compensated employees. Concentration test. This test is based on key employees versus all employees. The dependent care average benefits test. This test is based on highly compensated versus non-highly compensated. And the dependent care owner test. This test is based on over 5% owners compared to all employees. Every year, upon your renewal of your FSA, BeneFLEX has provided an Excel file populated with your census. On the right of the template, there is a request for the employer to provide the non-discrimination information which is being used for our testing. The information populated in this section is ran at the end of the year as required by IRS guidelines, and BeneFLEX tests every plan we administer, and we notify the employer if any plans fail. Every year, BeneFLEX runs the non-discrimination test at the end of October. We have an email blast going out today, and that'll go out around 1 o'clock Central, reminding you of the importance of providing the accurate data. The email will allow you to click on a link to request a template so you can update your employees' information. You will receive an an Excel file with all of your employees that are currently participating in the medical and dependent care FSA. You will then update each column with a Y for yes or an N for no, and that will tell us whether that employee is considered eligible, highly compensated, key, excluded, or an owner. The definition of these will be included on the instructions. It's very straightforward, and the deadline for submitting this information to BeneFLEX is going to be October 20th. If you feel you've already provided this information to BeneFLEX and it's up to date, then you don't need to respond. We're going to run the test anyway on the 20th and start at that time. But please remember, the accuracy of the test is based on the data in our system. If this afternoon comes and goes and you do not receive this information, please contact BeneFLEX by emailing info@beneflexhr.com. But every company is set up to receive that, so it might go to someone else in your company. If you want to know who it went to, please feel free to reach out to us. Did you know for every dollar your employees contribute to a pre-tax program, the employer saves 7.65% in FICA taxes? The FSA participation normally shows that the FICA savings more than outweigh the cost of administration or greatly reduces the cost of the FSA, so this is a win-win benefit. It's a discounted or it's a free benefit where your employees are allowed to save money. And employers find that employees, once they start saving 30 cents on every dollar, they become hooked. So what this means is we want to help you grow your participation because it makes the benefit you're offering that much more valuable as more people take advantage of it. So we're going to share with you some ideas on how to grow your participation. I want to show a couple of quick educational videos that we've created to engage your employees. You'll notice these videos have been personalized, and your video would also be personalized. On the first slide and last slide, we will have the company logo, and at the same time we'll be promoting your company's enrollment period and your company's educational meeting. We did have a little bug in the video system earlier, so for Jamie's birthday, we're going to hope that it works when she clicks play.
Having a solid healthcare plan to fall back on is reassuring. But when expenses that aren't covered by your health plan add up quickly, it knocks your comfort level down a few notches. With a flexible spending account, out-of-pocket healthcare expenses are covered with pre-tax dollars. That means what you contribute to your FSA is reduced from your taxable income, giving you a significant tax break. And an FSA doesn't just cover out-of-pocket healthcare expenses either. You could put money aside for daycare expenses with a dependent care FSA. So you're covered on all angles beyond healthcare. And because it's all with pre-tax dollars, you're saving yourself a pretty penny. With an FSA, your funds are available 24/7, giving you the luxury of accessing your account information, transactions, and contributions online with our mobile app or with your prepaid benefits card. For more information on signing up for your flexible spending account, contact your HR provider today.
Before I play the second video, I want to point out the excitement that everyone here at BeneFLEX sees when we're talking with an employee and they figure how much money they can save on an unavoidable health expense. We just make their day when we do health fairs, and all it takes is one idea to catch your employees' attention, and they're engaged because they know they've got to lay out a large amount of cash, and all of a sudden we've come up with a way for them to make that more bearable. So whenever we do health fairs, we try and go through a quick list of items just to see if one will click with them. Do they have any braces coming up? Does the family have contacts, glasses? Do they like contact solution? Anything that will make them say, hey, yeah, we do spend money on that stuff. What can I save? So this next video kind of talks to trying to get someone engaged.
Brace yourself. It's that time. And your insurance probably doesn't cover this expense. Want to know how you can pay for braces and save an easy 20 to 30% on your hard-earned money? Believe it or not, there's a tax-saving benefit that covers orthodontia. Did you know a flexible savings account, or FSA, lets you use pre-tax money to pay for medical and dental expenses not covered by your health plan? Life happens. So if braces are in your future, FSAs are a guaranteed discount on money you're already going to spend. Braces can cost up to $7,000 or more. By using FSA dollars, you can save $1,275, or even more if you're in the 25% tax bracket. Maximize your employee benefit. Sign up today and save on braces right away. Look for details during open enrollment, or talk to Human Resources for more information.
We've gotten a lot of compliments on that 30% off coupon, where people think that really speaks to people that are coupon clippers, because that's what the FSA is it's a 30% off coupon for anything out of pocket that you're going to purchase that is of a medical nature that's qualified. So let's talk about taking advantage of the resources that BeneFLEX offers to help you grow participation in your FSA. And employers, I know it's hard to do, but employers have found that to help their employees maximize tax savings, mandatory educational meetings are a must. If you want to grow participation, and if you're not having the time to educate your employees, they won't get involved with the medical and dependent care FSA. And that's a very simple benefit that can save them a large amount of money. If they're putting $5,000 into daycare at a 30% discount, that's $1,500 you just put back in their pocket. You, the employer, become the hero. And our experienced representatives want to help do those meetings, or we want to provide you materials if you have to do it with part of the rollout of other benefits. We understand. I mean, we've been working with you all for years, and there's a challenge in trying to fit everything in, which is why we want to give you these different thoughts or ideas on ways that you can take advantage of the resources that we've grown. FSA participation studies have shown that 80% of employees don't participate in the FSA, state it's because of the use it or lose it guidance. To overcome that concern, we strongly urge employers to make sure your medical FSA allows either the $500 carryover or the grace period. Employees have a fear of fear or use it, and will stay away from the medical FSA, but you can alleviate that fear. BeneFLEX has several tools to help employees use and track their FSA accounts, letting them feel more comfortable with how the accounts are flowing. They can pay for medical expenses using our BeneCard. There's easy ways to check their balance using our IVR phone system. They can check their accounts, claims history, submit claims, all using our employee web portal and our BeneFLEX mobile app. Finally, if you would like to allow your employees to experience an FSA, many employers have used seed money tied to a wellness plan. It helps encourage a healthy activity or outcome that draws employees into the FSA so they can experience its benefits firsthand. If you give each employee some money to start their FSA, they're going to see how easy it is to use those funds in their account, and it leads them to making an election the next year. One of our best success stories is an employer that we've worked with for 20 years. They wanted to give incentives for a healthy activity that they were encouraging their employees to do. They tied FSA seed money to that wellness goal, and they've done it for the past 4 years. Their FSA has grown from 20% participation up to 65% participation. Their employees have tripled their tax savings, and the employer is more than paying for the cost of all those people participating in the plan. I had mentioned a $500 carryover. And since I think that's such an important part of use it or lose it, the fear being taken away, I wanted to insert a slide that talks about allowing the employee to carry over up to $500 of unused funds in their medical FSA at the end of the year. What this means, the fear is gone. Participants no longer have to risk losing unused funds at the end of the year, and it does not reduce the maximum $2,550 election they can do the next year if they do roll over $500 in funds. Now, it must be uniformly available to everybody. When you do the carryover, that's done in lieu of the grace period, and I'm sorry, but it's not available for dependent care. But dependent care is easier to get in and out of, so there isn't as great a fear of use it or lose it. Now, this is a great addition to the FSA plan to draw in young, healthy weekend warriors. Some never want to enroll because they see themselves as indestructible. So the fear of use it or lose it prevents them from electing to be in the plan. Now they can put in $500 their first year and cover those what-if expenses or training injuries. We've tracked employees that have put in only $500 over the past 2 years. The idea that they had was if they had an issue, they'd pay for it pre-tax. If not, they'd carry it over. Well, in tracking the $500 that was contributed, we found that 68% put in more money than $500 their second year that they utilized the funds. So they became engaged. They found a way that they had expenses that they could pay for pre-tax, and they increased their participation. Again, very similar to seed money, only the employee is putting it in and never has any fear of using it. But again, once they find out how great it works, they're hooked. As you probably noticed, BeneFLEX is pro carryover our grace period. Our approach is whatever it takes to help participants feel at ease with the benefit that the employer is giving them. As of 2016, 70% of our clients adopted a $500 carryover. Now that's up from 64% last year. Some of our employers have experienced as much as 50% growth by adding the $500 carryover. That's an important message. I know everyone's very busy, but if you could double the amount of people that are taking advantage of a tax break, that is a wonderful benefit, and it's going to be at low to no cost to you. The grace period dropped from 24% down to 20%, and that's because we had people in the grace period move over to carryover, and that leaves us 10% of our employer groups, down from 12 last year, that have not tested grace period or carryover. Talking about the grace period, in 2005, the IRS issued Notice 2005-42, allowing employers to extend the date for which medical claims can be incurred for a plan year. Participants are making an election for a 12-month period, but they have 14 and a half months to spend their money, which lessens the fear of use it or lose it. Per calendar year, FSA plan participants would have until March 15th to continue to incur expenses. Now, we've also developed educational materials for the grace period, and again, all these materials are in the renewal questionnaire that you received. There's a link so you can view them and download them straight from our questionnaire. Now, I just spent 5 slides discussing ways to grow your FSA pre-tax benefit. These ideas and thoughts also apply to HSA, health savings account, public transportation, parking pre-tax, and let's not forget the HRA. We need to promote the HRA. Now, and it gets overlooked because it has 100% participation by plan design, but employers need to promote what a great benefit this is for the employees. The employer is taking all the risk to help keep the premiums lower, and you need to remind the employees of what a great benefit this is. It's similar to me being in a dark room winking at a cute girl. It does no good because she can't see me winking. So let's turn the lights on these benefits and tell your employees what you're doing for them, because these are really good, strong benefits. Now we're going to take a look at some of the more important details of the plans that will renew January 1 of 2017. Because we all know the FSA is like a seed, a tiny little seed. And after you get it planted the first year, it's going to come back annually every year since it works that darn good. Now, how's that for a tie-in? I took annual flowers to an FSA enrollment. I think I rose to the occasion. Thank you very much. Benefit plans with annual renewals. This is a listing of all the plans that renew throughout the year. When I first saw this slide, I was like, well, yeah, duh. And I thought about cutting it, but the renewal team said this was an important slide. And the more I dug into the slide, the more I saw the information they were referring to. Of course, it's obvious all these plans have an annual renewal, but why is that worth a slide? Well, in truth, it helps explain all the importance of all the deadlines we share with you. If you look, everything renews at the same time, all these plans that we're working with. So deadlines, we all have them, but I can tell you we live and breathe by them here. We work with our credit card company, we work with our banks to make sure that we can give you guarantees of when your accounts will be active, when your cards will be active, and that way you can make decisions knowing what you have to work with in terms of the deadlines we share. But we know you're overwhelmed too. Please don't take this as us saying our deadlines are the most important. They are important, but we know you're dealing with many different deadlines. So we're going to share these deadlines on the next slide. But while I'm on this slide, I want to emphasize, as you're working to meet these deadlines, the importance of complete data when you submit your information in. If you look at the FSA, I can't tell you how important getting new co-pays into the system are for us. What new co-pays do is it minimizes the letters. Our card swipes currently average at 89% of automatic adjudication. That is extremely strong in terms of automatic adjudication, and it helps the employees to have a very positive experience. What that means is we only have to ask 11% of the card swipes for backup on their purchases. So thank you for getting us those co-pays. HRAs, new contribution limits are required annually. When you're changing those numbers, we need to know deductible changes, the employees portion changes. If the plan starts to cover dependents or drops dependents, the census must include dependent information if they're going to be included in the HRA. When we don't receive this information, It slows down and delays claims adjudication. The Transportation Management Account for public transportation and parking. New elections are recommended annually. Now, it's not required, but I think it's a good reminder to participants to be told, well, this is what you did last year, do you want to do it again? COBRA, new rates are required annually. Oh my gosh, that's so very important. You have unhappy COBRA participants if they find out the rates have changed and we were not able to provide them updated COBRA premium coupons. And you can double that for the retirees. If we don't get the new rates for the retirees on time and their premium coupons don't get updated, they have the extra time on their hands to complain. And boy, do they have extra time. We have added 3 new services that we're extremely excited about at BeneFLEX. And the ACA reporting, truthfully, this is our 2nd year of doing ACA reporting. The first year we did it with controlled groups because we wanted to make sure we could maximize our software system and we could make our people that were being our beta types happy. So I'm very happy to tell you that the annual reporting, the year-end filing, or the monthly tracking and year-end filing, they're open and available for business. We built this system to handle all of our clients. And of course, not everybody's going to come to us the first year, so we're going to be underutilized this first year. But let me tell you, if you need help with the annual reporting, monthly tracking, year-end filing, the look-back period, how to answer questions 14, 15, and 16, how to code the employees, our software is intuitive, it's cloud-based, and we use the workbooks to walk you through, and our compliance team to help you give the correct answers. So contact us if you need help with ACA reporting. Another annual renewal is the educational reimbursement account. We have employers that use us for the entire process from setup of the pre-tax account document and the plan to the full administration and reimbursement. Others use us just for the pre-tax document and administer the account in-house as they only have 1 or 2 participants. The plans are good for reimbursing GED, continuing college, our professionals that have to earn CE credit hours to keep their certification. Employees really do appreciate getting reimbursed for their educational efforts and doing that pre-tax while the employer gets to take a tax deduction. And our third new service that is just very exciting because I've wanted this for years. It's a great opportunity. It's called the Consumer Claims Sync. We have the ability to reduce your employees' FSA and HRA manual claims submissions and improve the employee's experience. By working with you and your employees to set up a link with your insurance provider, BeneFLEX can pull your employees' claims onto our dashboard on our website for your employees to review electronically. After a participant ensures the information is correct and accurate, they can take the claim, mark it for payment with just a check of the box, and they don't have to submit anything. You received an email on Monday, October 3rd with a link to the renewal questionnaire. We ask that you complete the questionnaire and submit it back to BeneFLEX ASAP. And it is just astounding how many of you have already jumped out of that chute right away and are doing just that for us. Thank you. BeneFLEX will need to receive your enrollments by December 1 of 2016 to ensure all new participants receive their Bene cards and elections are loaded on their cards by January 1 of 2017. December 1, very important date. Please make note. If you did not receive the questionnaire and you want to find out who at your company did, please reach out to BeneFLEX at info@beneflexhr.com or contact your rep and ask who did receive that. If it's supposed to come to you, please let us know that change and we'll update our system. The renewal team always does their best to get as many Bene cards and new funds out by January 1. You can't imagine the number of calls we get from people looking for cards because the elections missed the deadline to get it by January 1. Or even worse, when they call in, and this is our secret between us, but we haven't received the elections yet. You know, we don't want to bother you. We know you're very busy. We do send out reminders. But what I'd like to propose is the phone actually takes away from the renewal team being able to work the files. You could do us and your employees a big favor if you could set expectations on when the cards will come in. If they're going to be late, please ask them not to call. We can't take one person and push them ahead of somebody else, no matter how much we want to do it. And believe us, we want to do it for every single person, but we have to keep our system going to make sure that everything is processed timely and accurate. Please remind them they can still purchase the out-of-pocket medical expense and then submit that first claim by paper or online, through the mobile app, the web portal. All those are options. 2017 cost of living adjustments, we need to watch for those. The government is not ever timely on getting those COLAs out except for the HSA. The HSAs are the only COLAs that have been sent so far for 2017. And the contribution limit for the HSA for single went up to $3,400, and the family limit for HSAs is at $6,750. BeneFLEX renewal questionnaire. We've been busy at work since the last renewal process. We've gone through step by step to see where we can improve your experience and fine-tune the process into a simpler and more intuitive questionnaire. You asked for it and we listened. One of the most requested enhancements was pre-populating your account information in the questionnaire. The next few slides will briefly touch on some of the highlights in an overview on how to submit or make changes to the populated information in your plan. All right, let's review a few of these new features. When completing the questionnaire, you will find directions in the green and rules in the red boxes listed above and below each relevant selection. Please be sure to read these items so you do not miss out on any important information. You will also notice that all of the required fields will be marked with an asterisk. If you do not answer each of these required questions, you will receive an error message and not be able to submit the questionnaire. So even if you hit submit and you get that error, it doesn't mean it came in incomplete. It means it did not come in, period. You have got to answer each of the questions and submit, then click submit. Each section of the questionnaire will need to be marked as no changes. Changes are not renewing. If you're making any changes to a section, your questionnaire will only have one column and you can proceed to the next section. Now let's take a look at what a questionnaire will look like if we're making changes. On this questionnaire, you may indicate that you need to make the changes to the design of your FSA plan. Now remember, this can be pre-populated, so in the left side column, you'll notice it's marked changes. On the right side, you indicate which changes need to be made. Keep in mind, you do not have to complete every field on the side with changes. You only need to complete the fields that require a change. If nothing is put in fields for the change, it'll revert back and stay with what's originally there. To ensure your plans do not exceed the maximum election amount, we have put certain rules in places that don't allow you to go over what the COLAs are allowing for that year. Once you've completed each section of the questionnaire, You're going to be prompted to print and save a copy for your records. Another new enhancement to our renewal process is an update to your broker email notification. We like to refer to this as your broker on steroids. Now, in one simple email, your broker will have a snapshot of all the groups with upcoming renewals that they work with. The email will include all clients renewing, the type of plans they're renewing, the renewal date of the plans, deadline to receive elections, date the questionnaire was sent to the employer, and the questionnaire recipients. Now, the questionnaire URL, the final far right column, brokers access to view and or assist with completing the renewal questionnaire. If the broker and you want this level of access, the employer would need to send a permissions form to BeneFLEX letting us know that you want us to open up reporter manager access rights for your broker. So that's a form you would fill out and send us. Once BeneFLEX has received your renewal questionnaire, we'll send you a census based on your response. The format of the file may not be changed. Please, if you change the format, you run the risk of errors and delays in the creation of the accounts and cards. If you have chosen to do employee online enrollment, we need you to update your census to include all eligible employees, non-discrimination information, and return it to BeneFLEX in a secure email. We will need your census 2 weeks prior to the online election so everyone can get into the system. I think it's important to note that this employee online enrollment is our most popular, and it's best for the employee education. The enrollment is set up with help functions, and it's intuitive on how the plan works and what benefits are as the employee goes through the enrollment process. The employee has access to the SPD, a tax calculator to tell them how much they're saving in tax, a calculator that tells them how much will come out of each paycheck, and overall the ability to then print and keep a copy of that file and save it. If you opt for employer online enrollment, employers will enter the participant election in the employer portal. The employer may also add employees and update the status of employees to the employer portal. This seems to be popular with our smaller employer FSA groups who can handle that task quickly. And then the final option is an Excel spreadsheet. The employer will update the participants' demographic information, enter their elections, and non-discrimination information. They will return the completed file to BeneFLEX in a secure email. This is the second most used option by the employers for enrollment. Now you'll notice in option 1 and in option 3, I stretched out the word secure. I hate to say that we still receive files that have socias on them and employee information that are not sent secure. If you go to the BeneFLEX homepage, if you click on Contact Us, the very first thing that's going to come up is the ability for you to send us a secure email with an attachment. Please take advantage of our secure feature for HIPAA purposes when you're sending in your information, if that will help you. If you choose either employee or employer online enrollment, BeneFLEX has PowerPoint tutorials available to walk you through the entire process. These PowerPoint presentations can be downloaded directly again from your renewal questionnaire. Well, that questionnaire has everything, doesn't it? Well, you can get those there, and then soon we are going to come out with an employer portal quick start training video. And this video is going to walk you through all the features of the employer portal, including ad hoc reporting 24/7, which is number 1 on the list of what people are looking for. This is going to be a great asset to your video library, so stay tuned for the release on when that's coming out. Empower your employees to make wise decisions regarding their health care benefits by utilizing BeneFLEX's educational resources. You may download and or request printed educational materials in the renewal questionnaire. Those can be shared via email, intranet, social media sites. However you communicate with your employees, we want to build the media format so it works for you. And if you need printed materials, please allow 5 business days for preparation. Educational meetings, you know we encourage mandatory educational meetings. Those meetings help grow employee participation, increase knowledge, increase their satisfaction with the plan, and we want to be any part of that we can. In support of growing your participation, BeneFLEX developed personalized FSA educational materials, and I want to let you know we did these improvements to our materials based on a study done by Visa. And I only included one slide, but it was a very thorough study, extremely interesting on how millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers all communicate or learn or want to be educated, how they want to be educated. As you can see, Gen Xers perceive the FSA very differently than the other 2 groups. For example, there's a large difference between millennials who believe they will never use up all their funds and the boomers who feel confident. Now, being a boomer, I do know that I have more medical expenses, but this is still very telling to me, and the rest of the survey was very informative because you've got boomers saying that they always use their funds, 77% top right corner, but if you go to the very bottom left side, you never use up all your funds, 55% millennials. So the millennials have, again, a need for us to reach out and to let them see that opportunity. And that's what this next poster is all about. We developed this specifically to engage millennials so they can learn how easy it is to participate and to try and grab their attention on something they're interested in. When you think of millennials, you think of outside, healthy, exercising, extreme sports, eating right. Well, did you know that the Fitbit with a heart rate monitor is a qualified medical expense? If you want to target those young millennials and show them how easily they could spend money in an FSA and get them to come in at that $500 level, this is a great educational piece. This piece was developed so the millennials would get something of excitement that they're very much in tune with, and many of them have. When we do health fairs, we get more millennials that stop to look at this poster and comment, shoot, I just bought a Fitbit and it has a heart monitor. Can I turn that in next year? Well, you know, we have to explain the rules to them, but it's so funny to see them go through that list then of eligible items to see what else they've missed. And I'll tell you, sunscreen, they just like, oh my gosh, sunscreen, we're always outside, our family, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, it's just little things that might get someone to take that first step, and then once they see how easy it is, they look for other ways to take advantage of the FSA. Are people visual? Do they learn by listening? Do they prefer to read? Do they want a sharp blast? Do they want all the details? Are they OCD like me? Taking these questions in mind, we developed multiple marketing pieces and videos, and we're going to make those pieces be available in various media forums and styles. The personalized educational materials help grow your participation by targeting specific audiences with specific messages. Our personalized coupons can be shared on your intranet, your social media site, however you feel most comfortable. So let's speak to the millennials some more, and let's take a look at our mobile app video.
Our Benefits mobile app makes using your health benefit accounts easy. Log in and you immediately see your available funds, broken down by account. Click to see all the details, balance info, account activity, and more. Ready to file a claim? Just take a picture of the receipt and upload it from your phone's camera. No fax or computer is necessary to substantiate your claim or card transactions. And asking a question is as easy as clicking a button. Contact us and try it today.
All right. So again, adding with that 30% off coupon, and I tell you, I was excited about that coupon because I know a lot of people, they just think that way. Oh, I have a coupon for 30% off. That's what the FSA is. So we've had people that are calling in now asking for copies of that coupon, and so we're getting them ready and sending them out, whatever it takes to communicate. So, and our survey says, thank you to our employers and brokers that took the time to give us this good input. We take your results and your comments very seriously, and we want to be a good partner. So over the last 2 years, we've listened to what you've said, and you were looking for easier ways to submit claims. So we migrated to a new software with enhanced employer-employee portals and mobile app. In our recent survey, employers have expressed that they would like the renewal questionnaire click-through to be a click-through process. BeneFLEX has implemented a customer relationship management system so that you can step through the process more easily. And when you call in with questions and you need help, that our team can get you and your services more quickly. On the top, a couple of the new features. I mentioned the pre-populated information. We have the save and continue feature, and we have the print confirmation page. Those are all new things. It's important to let you know of another enhancement. If, when you send in your enrollments, all of your new people that are joining, or if it's your first year with BeneFLEX, when you send your enrollments, if you include the email, when the card is mailed, when that Bene card is mailed, they're going to get an email telling them it's been put in the mail. Now that's important for two things. One, we're trying to cut down the number of calls by setting expectations. We want the employees to know that it's coming so that they feel good. But the second part of that is they'll watch for it. I can't tell you how many employees throw away that card because it doesn't say on the outside of the envelope, hey, your card's included, because it can't say that. That would get stolen. Although now I've gone and opened up a box of worms. Although there's very little chance of fraud because the card uses specific merchant category codes. Debit card purchases and payments issued, you can sign up for text and email alerts. Reminders, just a second, I'm losing it. Thank you. Watch for the email reminder on discrimination testing this afternoon. It's your chance to make sure your data is up to date and accurate. Many of the clients are renewing their group health insurance for 15 months. We need to know that. We need to change renewal information. We need to make sure that the system gets updated, your docs get updated, and that your rates are correct in our system. For all clients with a January 1 renewal, remember that deadline is December 1st. There's no changes in the standard claims processing. We work very hard to keep those consistent. One less change for your employees is always a good thing. Over the holidays, we always send out notice of the changes that are going to happen. This will be going out soon. These are the holiday deadlines. If you want to go ahead and post them on your website now so that your people know in submitting claims what they'll be, we also post it on our website. So the last video I'd like you to see is our transportation and public benefit pre-tax programs. What I want you to do is, if you have any questions, Now would be the time to type them in, because as soon as the video's open, I'm going to take your questions.
Commuting shouldn't pinch your wallet. Reduce your travel and parking expense by enrolling in commuter benefits. Each pay period and amount you choose is set aside before taxes are paid and loaded to your account. Making payments is easy with your prepaid benefits card. The card is linked to your account, so when you pay for transit passes, van pooling, parking, and other related expenses, all you need to do is swipe. If there isn't enough money in your account, no problem. You can pay the extra using any payment method you like. And you can change your election amount at any time during the plan year. Any unused balances at the end of the year can be carried over to the next plan year. Best of all, the money spent is tax-free, so you save hundreds each year. Today's commuting options make life easier. Now paying for it can be easy too.
Another good video by Jamie Raines Marketing. So, we do have some questions that are coming in
regarding the carryover. I am CSC certified in flexible compensation.
Would you see if they're hearing that in there? Okay. So I apologize. I just like the sound of my voice so much we thought we'd hear it a little bit more. So I really love this one question. We have 5 questions already saying, are we going to get the slides for this presentation? This is an ongoing argument between Jamie and I on the slides going out. So I'm glad to see that you want copies of those slides. They will be going out as soon as this presentation is over. And we are going to also have the recording of the webinar available on our website in case you had someone in the company that couldn't make it, or you have some other questions that you want answered. What is a transportation management account? I apologize, I should have called that a pre-tax public transportation management account or a pre-tax parking management account. Those two accounts allow employees to pay for public transportation and for parking for work purposes on a daily basis pre-tax. It's very similar to the medical FSA in that you get a card, the money comes out of your account through payroll deductions, and the money, you swipe the card every month and you get the pre-tax savings. So that is a very popular part of our program. We have another question. What about limited FSA discrimination testing? Thank you. That's my error for not mentioning the limited FSA along with the FSA. The limited FSA is very popular for employers that have a health savings account because, again, we want to pay for everything pre-tax whenever possible. So the limited FSA allows people to do pre-tax dental and vision, and there will be discrimination testing for those plans just like the full medical. And the deadlines to enroll for those are the same also. Does everyone get a new card each year? Well, the cards come out with a 5-year life. And you want to keep those cards because the MasterCard, Visa companies, they provide the first one free, but after that, there's a $10 fee for a card. Now, the good news, if you throw it away, if 5 years goes by, they give you another one free again. The good news is if you do throw it away or lose it by accident, you can get a replacement card through the FSA and pay for it pre-tax. Are everyone's elections due on December 1st? Go ahead. I'm going to let Jennifer answer that one.
As far as elections that are due December 1st, that would be anybody that runs a calendar year plan year or a December calendar year.
All right. Here's a question. We are having trouble with our COBRA provider. What's the deadline to set up a new COBRA plan? Well, COBRA normally takes 4 weeks to set up. If you're having trouble and need to get out of a bad situation, if you can work with us to try and get the information to us in a timely fashion, we will always try and help to get you set up in time to meet needs and squeeze that window a little bit if we need to. Oh, good. Someone asked a question about the Fitbit. With a heart monitor, how much can you turn in? And it's $165. The way we came to that amount is we searched all the different heart monitors that were available, and I happened to be at an NCST conference and the IRS was there, so I was able to have a conversation with them that heart monitors qualified, they're on a Fitbit. We went through and got the average rate of $165. Would they agree with that logic? And they did. So if you buy a Fitbit with a heart monitor, up to $165 so that can be reimbursed through your medical FSA. So everybody, when you're asking for your marketing materials, you should definitely be saying, send me a copy of the Fitbit poster. Well, I think that's all of our questions for the day. I appreciate everyone giving me their time. I know you're very busy. BeneFLEX and everyone here appreciates you working with us, and we always want to work harder to meet your needs. Have a good day.